Hey there and welcome. So, have you ever thought about investing on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, but then just stopped? Maybe it seemed too complicated or you just didn't know where to begin. Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to break it all down and give you a super clear roadmap for your first stock market adventure. All right, so here's what we've got on the agenda. We're going to kick things off with the big why. Like, why even bother with stocks? Then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, how to get your ticket to trade, how to pick a guide, and of course, how to make that very first move. We'll wrap up by talking about playing the long game for success. Sound good? Let's get into it. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. Why should you even think about investing in stocks? I get it. For a lot of people, it feels, well, complicated, maybe even a little out of reach. But honestly, the reasons to jump in have never been better, especially right here in Kenya. You know, one of the biggest things that holds people back is this idea that you need a mountain of cash to get started. And to be fair, for a long time, that wasn't entirely wrong. But a really recent change has just completely flipped the script for new investors. And this right here, this is the game changer. You remember that old rule? The one that said you had to buy at least 100 shares at a time? Well, that's gone. Kaput. Now you can buy as little as one single share. Think about what that means. This one simple change just smashes the barrier to entry and opens the door for pretty much everyone to own a piece of Kenya's biggest and best companies. All right, so let's say you're feeling inspired, you're ready to go. What's the very first practical thing you need to do? Well, before you can even dream of buying a single share, every single investor needs one essential tool in their toolkit. And that tool is called a Central Depository System account, or what everyone just calls a CDS account. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's basically a digital wallet or a bank account, but instead of holding your cash, it holds your shares electronically and securely. This is your official first step, and you can get one set up through a licensed stockbroker, or in some cases, right through your bank. And honestly, the process is super straightforward. You just pick a stockbroker you like, fill out an application form, hand over a few documents, and then you just wait for your account number to come through. So let's take a look at the exact documents you'll need to get ready. It's pretty standard stuff. You'll need a copy of your ID or passport, a couple of recent photos, and your KRI PIN certificate. Now, some brokers might also ask for things like a proof of residence or recent bank statements, so just keep that in mind. Get these together, and you're practically there. Okay, so your CDS account is all set up. Now you need a partner, a guide to help you actually navigate the market, and that's your stockbroker. Believe me, picking the right one can make a huge difference in your experience. What's great is that this breakdown is based on what actual clients are saying. It shows you that different brokers are good for different people. Whether you're a total beginner who needs a lot of handholding or a more serious long-term investor, there's a perfect match for you out there. Let's take Genghis Capital. If you're just starting out, people rave about them. Their app, GQs, even has practice accounts so you can learn without risking real money. Plus, users always mention how amazing and accessible their customer support is. But maybe you're looking for something a bit more in-depth. Well, then you might look at AIB Access. Users point out how they're not only super responsive, but also provide these amazing educational lectures that really help you understand what you're investing in. Right, you've got your account, you've picked your guide. Now for the really fun part, actually buying your very first share. Let's walk through a real-world example, say buying shares in Safaricom, which is one of the most popular stocks on the exchange. Once you put some money in your account, you just search for its ticker symbol, that's SCOM, decide how many shares you want, hit confirm, and that's it. It is genuinely that easy. Now, buying a single stock like Safaricom is an awesome way to start. But let's be real, putting all your eggs in one basket can be risky. And that brings us to a super important idea for managing that risk, diversification. This is where funds enter the picture. So what is a mutual fund? Just think of it as a big basket that holds a whole bunch of different stocks and other investments. When you buy into a fund, you're instantly buying a tiny piece of dozens, maybe even hundreds of different companies. This spreads your risk way out, so if one company has a bad day, it doesn't wreck your whole investment. You see, investing isn't really just about the mechanics of clicking buy and sell. To be truly successful in the long run, it's all about having the right mindset, and maybe more importantly, avoiding a few really common mistakes. And here they are. All the experts agree, these are the classic traps that new investors fall into. Chasing some hot tip you heard, trying to predict the market's every move, or just investing without any real goal, that's a recipe for losing money. Seriously, just avoiding these pitfalls is half the battle won. And I mean, this famous quote from Warren Buffett just says it all, doesn't it? The stock market rewards patience. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And your ability to think long-term is probably your single greatest asset as an investor. Okay, let's talk about something that's on everyone's mind when they make money: taxes. So in Kenya, the official tax rate on the profit you make from selling an asset, and that includes stocks, is 5%. That's called the capital gains tax. But, and this is a big but, here is a massive advantage for investors right now. The Kenya Revenue Authority has stated that profits you make from selling shares listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange are currently exempt from that capital gains tax. This is a huge deal, and it's something every new investor absolutely needs to know about. So there you have it. We've gone through the why, the what, and the how. We've talked about the tools, the guides, and the right mindset to bring to the table. Your journey is officially ready to begin. Let's just wrap it all up with your final action plan. This is your checklist. Figure out your goals, pick a broker that feels right for you, get that CDS account open, and just start small. You don't have to be perfect. The most important thing you can do is just get started. You have the knowledge now. You have the tools. The path forward is clear. So really, the only question left is, what's the first chapter of your investment story going to be?